Hello everybody, how's it going today? It's Frank here and I'm back with a movie review. Now this movie is called Don't Look Away and I'm not sure how to feel about this movie. When I first read about it, I thought, okay, sounds good, got a good concept to it, my sort of movie. It turned out to be average. It basically starts off as this, these group of criminals that try and break into this truck or something, a cargo truck, I don't know what you call it. And they open up this cloth which is this mannequin, and I don't know why they were planning to steal it. And then as soon as they looked away, the doors close and they get attacked. And the guy outside the van, he's like, he tries to go in. I don't know why he would want to try and rescue them. If he sees something crazy is happening, just run. And then he sees that they're both dead, and the mannequin starts taking him out. And this girl that comes in called Frankie, good name by the way, good name. Female me by the way. Yeah, she runs over this dude, but the dude was already dead anyway. And she spoke to police, and she sees, she's convinced that a mannequin's following her after all this, like a curse thing. Somebody just popped up here, so let me take care of that. Sorry, somebody just popped up there, and she's convinced that this, that this mannequin's attacking her because she saw like a mannequin type figure in a rear view mirror. Sees that and she's getting a bit convinced. Obviously nobody believes her other friendship group, right? I mean, it's quite obvious at first they don't believe her because this sounds crazy, but yet they begin to see it. First it was Jonah that sees it, of her friends, and he sees it and he's like, he doesn't know what to think. And it's like the mannequin, weirdly enough, like the mannequin, it's like nobody else in the club saw a mannequin. It's weird, but it's a weird movie. It was a bit confused to me anyway what was happening. I've got this, it's kind of obvious. Ignore the shout now, there's just kids if you can hear any shout in the background. Yeah, so goes to the club, and I think a friend, which friend? I think one of her friends wanted to take like a drug or something. I think Madison, or was it Lucy? One of those two friends of hers wanted to take a drug, and she went to the bathroom and the lights turn off and she sees like she sees like Molly or something like that in surrounded by dead bodies, and she's like, what the hell is going on? They're both like, what was going on? And then Frankie sees the mannequin and she's like, who are you? And I was like, is she dreaming? Because surely that's a lot of dead bodies. That's a bit too ridiculous. It doesn't really make much sense why that whole lot of dead bodies would be in that club like that anyway, like from a mannequin. It doesn't make sense they can all die like that and how Molly just stayed alive. It never made sense to me. Then you see Molly at the entrance, and after Frankie opens the door, she just gets her throat gets slit. And yeah, so that's another good scene right there. There was also another good scene where Frankie tells like two of her friends to meet us somewhere, and you see Madison jump off a balcony, and you see Madison jump off a balcony, and you see another friend of hers. God damn, I've forgotten her other friend's name. I have a female friend's name, I've kind of forgotten. And then she sees her eye to gouge out and mannequins there. There's another scene where Lewis is like, trying to swim, and the mannequin gets hold of him. This is just probably the only best parts in the movie. There was one scene where it was kind of important, where they watch a video, and this woman said that she's been stopped by mannequins, yet it's clear towards the end. You don't actually see it. But that was hinting at. So yeah, the storyline's quite interesting. Not really the best movie I've ever seen. And yeah, me continuing in it, this. And then you see Steve at the start. Like for me, at first I thought Steve was a nice a-hole. At first, I was like, okay, sounds like a nice dude, but he could be rude at the same time. And he starts going a bit mental, a bit like he's possessed or something after drinking alcohol. It is a bit weird. I can't lie. I was like, there's something off about this dude, and I don't know why the man didn't take him out straight away. And it begins to be a bit crazy, and he wants, he sets fire to a mannequin as well after they all see it. And yeah, so sets fire to, they think, oh, curse is over. Not necessarily though. Not necessarily. They go back in. This was all after that woman that had her eyes gouged out and died. And that's after Madison jumped off the balcony. They were at this place and this all happened. And yeah, so as Frankie went back in, she saw that on his laptop. She was told from this dude that he's doing a thesaurus, thesis. My bad, my thesis. And he kept typing the word mannequin. So the dude was actually possessed, and after he tries to set fire to this mannequin, goes back inside, you hear a scream, and his head's just cut off. Like, I don't know how you could just still walk out headless. I don't really know. That's impossible. They do kind of like a mannequin. I think it's like a fake prop to have a blood in the top as well, which is kind of cool, I guess. At least I hope it's done like that way, because no way that was gonna happen in real life anyway. But yeah, it's all fake like that. So yeah, goes back in, and Victor comes into it. Basically, Victor's the dad of the video that they're watching, the woman in there. So that's when John replied back on the video and said that somebody's needs to come up because their friends need help, stuff like that. And yeah, but we did see, but Drake did get attacked though. Drake did die from the mannequin, because all the lights went off. They went downstairs into the, Joan and Drake went back downstairs into the basement. And yeah, so as they turn the lights, okay, everything's over. Drake grabs a bat. The only one to have not left that area yet with the fuse switch, the fuse room I could call it. And there's a look behind you. Those shots and he's just dead. So you don't actually see how he dies, but the door, it's kind of like those glass doors where you can't see from the other side. But yeah, it's where it is. And then after Victor comes along, there's something off about Victor. He's blind, so I don't know if he made himself blind on purpose so he couldn't see the mannequin, or he just got blind from the mannequin anyway. I don't know what on earth is going on in this story, but it confused me just a bit. And yeah, so they get to it, and then they keep looking around. It's like just for the man to get all wary. And yeah, so Frank gets into the kitchen. Jonah's there and stuff like that. And yeah, the dude kind of said something like, "Oh, I'm dying to have coffee, so it'll go out." I think that's subliminal for him going to do something. And then they get back into the room, and you see Victor just stabbing like Lucy to death, like constantly. I was like, what is going on? Is this dude the killer the entire time? What's happening? And then you see Jonah getting stabbed, so you think, oh god, it's only Frankie left now. So Frankie kept dodging him, waits in the bathroom. He tries to come in, bit of altercation. She could try to fight the dude though. I know why she didn't. And the mannequin's around as well. I don't know what's going on. It's like the mannequin didn't do anything to him because he's blind, which is a bit strange, but I don't know what the plan is. Maybe unless he knew something, unleashed something, I have no clue. And yeah, but then as soon as he was about to strangle to death, Jonah comes in with the bat, boom, and then you think, okay, that's it now. And then the mannequin's still there. As she's about to go out and she's supposed to call 999, you think, okay, he's passed now, he's dead. She goes back in, don't know why, and then she sees the mannequin still standing there and hasn't moved. No, I don't understand. Just make a sip of, drink a sip of tea here. I just don't really understand the whole concept that why the mannequin just suddenly stopped, why they not go after her, unless it's because she spread the curse round. I have no clue. Anyway, so yeah, she leaves, and then you see her in this different apartment building. I don't know how she came to that conclusion. I mean, I know she wanted to move out anyway. And yeah, so it's a bit strange in that one. Jonah is back into the scene as again. It's like I thought he died. And yeah, so he he says what you gonna do about moving to wherever, and she was like, oh, I'm gonna do that for the next thing. He was like, it's your dream. She said, oh, not all dreams come true. And he said, what do you do with the mannequin? And then it comes at the ending where there's two construction workers there. They open up a box, the mannequin's there, and the mannequin just disappears straight away after they looked away, and boom, the mannequin was in like standing in the set position as if it was about to do something to them, and yeah, that was it. I don't know how I feel about that. It would have been a great ending if her and Jonah still stayed, and the mannequin would have been right behind it, killing them both. Wouldn't that be? That would be some mad ending though, if they just turned around and the mannequin just attacked them both. Like, I think that would have been a typical whole movie ending. Or I was expecting an ending where she was probably mental, she did all of that herself. But it wasn't even that ending. They could have had an ending where she was actually mental and wasn't experiencing any of this. But again, what would have been the storyline to that? I don't know. or she could have woke up in a mental asylum because she did hit and run and she didn't cope with it. I don't know, that would have been the perfect ending to this type of movie. I was waiting for a good ending. I love my whole movie endings. I'm so curious to know what's happened at the end. You know, there should have been a better twist. But instead it turned into some sort of average movie. The acting should have been better. Surely the acting in that was poor. Like, it really was. I don't even think this is the best movie. It's not the worst movie all the time. And this isn't the best movie I've ever seen. It's certainly not a good movie. I don't even think it's okay. I think it's just average. I like the storyline. Don't get me wrong, I love movies where this is the type of storyline. But you needed more mystery and a bit more horror to it. It didn't really scare me. The mannequin for me looked stupid. It didn't look like a scary mannequin. As they were saying, I mean, they had to go by script. Nothing much really happened apart from those crazy scenes. I mean, I don't want to mention too much because I don't want this video to be longer than it is. But yeah, and it's one of those, you know, as you would see in every other horror movie, they would, you know, you always get one character that comes and talks about they can stop a curse, or talks about how they can escape, or talks about what actually is going, how it started. You never get that, and I was disappointed. I know I love when movies leave me hanging, but at least let me know more of the story. Let me know deep into the story how this curse became about. How did this mannequin become to be? Was there like a dead body and it started possessing people? I don't know. I mean, it certainly possessed Steve, because, you know, you see him at the scene of him wanting to do something to Lucy but couldn't, and there's voices in her head telling about urges or something. I don't know. I thought it was one of those movies where he probably was the one going to kill the rest of them, but it didn't turn out that way either. Maybe they were too obvious and maybe they wanted to leave the viewers thinking and questioning and guessing. But it didn't leave me feeling anything. It just left me feeling it was a bit average. Storyline was good. That's the only thing I'll give this movie for. It's not even okay. I've seen more okay movies than this. So it did disappoint that it didn't live up to its name and expectations. I had high hopes for this movie. So yeah, I mean, definitely the title, Don't Look Away. I can see why it's called that. But then it was really a bit confusing, though, to be fair. It is like a weeping angel from Doctor Who. If you look away, you get killed. I can see where the person got the inspiration from. Maybe from that, or maybe from something else, I guess. I don't know. With horror movies, you could just literally make anything. Anything could be turned into horror nowadays. That's how concerning it is. That's how crazy it is. And that's how, you know, easy it is to make a genre like this. But you gotta have the acting involved. Like, I've watched movies where it's bad acting, but the graphics are good. I've seen movies where it's not the best graphics, but the acting was good. You know, that's why it ups the rating just a bit. This one here stays average. It's not higher than a 6. Definitely not. This is not even a 7. I think it's by Michael Buffalo or something. I'll hashtag the name in the description below. But like, the concept needed to be a bit more clear. Needed to have, you know, better acting, I guess. And dialogue wasn't much there. I don't know what to make of dialogue. But yeah, I only mentioned that. I mentioned as much as I can anyway. So yeah, rating now. It's either a 5 or a 6, but because I like the concept, I'll give it a 6. I think 5 or 6, because they're both average scores, I'll give it a 6 at least. I don't think it. If anyone rates this more than a 6, you need to tell me why you need to tell me why you rate it higher than a 6. I was gonna say questionable 6, because someone could get this lower. I don't know. Most of my reviews are questionable to people, anyways. That's why questionable. That's why I say questionable this number and questionable that number, because people could rate it any score. But yeah, there's not much else I can say. 6 out of 10 it is. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like, comment, share if you already know, subscribe, hit the notification below, as I see you in my next video.